Beecham was himself his most thoroughly rehearsed production. When he was middle-aged, dapper Mr. Beecham, he seemed in the eyes and ears of many people to be the personification in excelsis of the bounder. At that time, Beecham was not a popular figure. Why doesn't he pay his income tax, the British people asked, not knowing the complications of his financial affairs, and complicated they were. They occupied an army of accountants. One, having wrestled all through the night with a problem, called on Sir Thomas the next morning. Sir Thomas, I have been going over your affairs until the crack of dawn. I should like you to enlighten me on one most crucial point.
And what is that?
Do you owe, or are you owed, £2 million?
The answer is in the affirmative. In both cases.
After an action when he was cited as correspondent in 1910, the British public was equally unsympathetic to his marital arrangements. Why doesn't he live with Lady Beecham, they asked. At about this time, he walked to the conductor's desk in Birmingham in complete silence. He bowed to the audience. Not a hand clap, not a sound. He turned to the orchestra.
Let us pray.
At the end of one of his many trials with the income tax commissioners, after which he was finally declared bankrupt, the judge asked, "But, Sir Thomas, what did you spend all your money on?"
On music, my lord.
But what was the good of that?
Surely, if we are a musical nation, we should have fine British artists, concert halls, municipal orchestras, and 1,001 musical things that other countries boast of. The truth is, you have so allowed yourselves to be flattered to a state of self-conceit that not only are you the musical laughingstock of the world, but you are content to listen to rotten foreign singers, rotten foreign pianists, rotten foreign orchestras, and what is more, rotten foreign conductors as well. Toscanini. What do I think of Toscanini? A glorified Italian bandmaster. You've heard those lively band competitions in Paris? Hmm? Well, Toscanini had found his métier there. Much is made of the fact that he conducts without a score, but Toscanini is so short-sighted he wouldn't be able to read a score. But though it is generally known that he always conducts from memory, and though it is generally known that he's almost half blind, nobody apparently is aware that he's also stone deaf. It's true.
It should perhaps be pointed out that Toscanini, in his turn, always referred to Sir Thomas as Pagliaccio.
Look, I am not the only conductor in this country. On the other hand, I'm better than any damned foreigner. Now, you take Malcolm Sargent.
Oh, no, you'll have to call him Sir Malcolm now.
Why?
Well, didn't you know he'd been knighted?
No. I knew he'd been doctored. Yeah, poor old Malcolm. We always used to call him Flash Harry. Now, Malcolm is an extremely accomplished musician and an incredibly accomplished conductor. I appointed him as my deputy, knowing that my orchestra would be in safe hands while I was away. Now, you take my advice. If ever you appoint a deputy, choose one that you can trust technically, but his caliber should be such that the public are always very pleased to see you back again.
He did have an enormous success in Tokyo.
Good Lord, Malcolm in Tokyo? What was he doing there?
Conducting.
flash in Japan.
When he was conducting there one night, a gun went off in the audience.
I had no idea the Japanese were so musical.
In 1916, Beecham was knighted, and it was at this time, too, that his father's death threw all his affairs into confusion, and he came by the reputation of being bankrupt. Beecham's worried financial advisor was James White, who operated from a suite in the Grand Hotel in London. One morning, as Sir Thomas was sitting in White's outer office, a Lancashire businessman burst in, demanding an immediate interview with White.
I'm afraid he's engaged at the moment.
But I've got to see him. I've got a lot of brass at stake.
I know how much.
A bloody lot, and I won't go away till I've seen him.
Well, yes, but how much?
Nigh on £14,000.
Jimmy, petty cash.
In the 1930s, emerging from a period of ill health and harassed by his creditors, his tongue frequently lashed out in all directions at the people of Birmingham.
Your town hall is one of the last places in the world that anyone would wish to sing or play in. Everything is wrong with it, except the outside.
Of one of his esteemed colleagues.
Sir Adrian Bolt came round to see me this morning, positively reeking of Horlicks.
Of Sydney Harbour Bridge, to the proud mayor of Sydney.
I don't like it. Why don't you have it removed? I think the public are getting rather tired of me after all these years. I've been overworking myself.
He planned a year's complete rest from music. But a serious event put the London Philharmonic Orchestra into liquidation and also put paid to the holiday. The outbreak of war.
I heard there was a state of national emergency, so I emerged.
He did not leave England until the spring of 1940.
There is only one man to lead our country at this time of crisis. He has done it before, and he can do it again. And the name of that man is Lloyd George.
The next day, Winston Churchill became Prime Minister.